I woke up today and we have two new different ban lists for two different OCG formats. So, Asian English is a format that really hasn't had a ban list for about a year. And it's really shocking because the last list that they got was in November of 2023. But now they have a January 2025 ban list because Asian English has been picking up in traction for the player base and all the other things that there is. So for the bans, nothing changed for the forbidden section, and you can take a look at that because they have a lot of cards at zero that have been at zero over here for a while, along with Can Soldier and Amazon's Archer. So realistically, it shares a lot of the OCG. And then we have the new limits and semi-limits. So for this format, they said no more Dibelstar, Snake Eye Ash, Poplar all down to 1, Tempai Dragon Chandra, Crossout Designator, Foolish Burial, Harpy's Feather Duster, Monster Reborn, Kaiser Coliseum, Reinforcements of the Army, Runic Fountain, Sanjin Summoning, Terraforming, Wanted Seeker of the Sinful Spoil, Skill Drain, and Summon Limit. So they're going to be probably warping their format towards what the OCG currently has, and honestly, this just hard caps the format, so where a lot of decks have potential and have a lot of playability still, while other decks get injured, just like this. Now, Reinforcements of the Army was at 3, and people were playing absolutely crazy things because of this whole entire format. And then for the semi-limits, they did Bonfire, Call by the Grave, 1-for-1, Pot of Desires, Extravagance, and Prosperity, Pearly Sleepy Memory because Pearly was one of the best decks in Asian English, and Red Reboot to 2. So this is a very big list because it changes the format and hurts the consistency of decks, hurts the power of decks as well, but realistically, for a format that just started off or just restarted back in like 2022, it's definitely good to see that they're trying with this format again with more popularity going through that. And now let's get into the Chinese ban list because that is a thing to note. Because China is one of those formats where they go off the OCG ban list, but they do course correct changes because they get their cards a bit later than Japan. So this list follows suits with some of the bans that they had, which are Kaiser Coliseum, Beatrice, Lady of Eternal, and Abyss Dweller. So that matches up all of that for the OCG players, which in my opinion is fine. China is a weird ass format when you look at it because they created so many things that we played in the past many years, like Ishizu Tearlament being from actual mainland China as a creation from them, and we had to thank them for that. But seeing these 3 cards banned over in China is great because it helps their format. They didn't have Beatrice banned for quite some time, but they finally banned the card because Fiendsmith was a bit newer to them compared to what the OCG had. Abyss Dweller is fine because Ryzeal and Kaiser Coliseum is Kaiser Coliseum. We know that story. There's no limited cards, I believe, because that's what this would be. But we do have 3 semi-limit cards being Maxi, X-Raziel, and 7th Tachyon. And 7th Tachyon and Maxi mirrors what Japan has. Well, X-Raziel didn't go down to 1, instead they have it at 2. So there's that to take note on, and honestly, that's absolutely fine. Because the less copies of X-Raziel that you have, the better. And then cards going 3, Pearly Delicious Memory, and Branded Opening. And realistically, that is it for the ban list coverages. We had so many ban lists this whole entire month. We had TCG, OCG, Master Duel. I think Duel Links had one. Then we had Asian English and Chinese. Korea is one that goes off of the OCG unless if they have a little edit to do. So that is absolutely fine. But overall, these ban lists have definitely been something to take note in, because Konami is getting ready to go off into the new series, so they probably want to hit a lot of things by the time Series 13 starts in April. So they probably have one more list of their current meta. They probably have a list or two to three lists for China before that, and then Asian English is doing Asian English things. But I wanted you guys think about these other formats that people really don't talk about much, because I am really interested in Asian English because it is a wild heart of a format where so many different things are going on, and how they get their pack structures, which is pretty much a megaton with so many imports. There, even in China, if we look at the Chinese Weibo, you could see going through, they reprint stuff into their main sets or in special mega pack style sets. Like one of their sets that's coming out, I've also seen them put a lot of reprints into stuff. Like, it's crazy just looking at what they do just to catch up. And honestly, that's absolutely amazing how they have their things set up, even with Asian English, where they just add a bunch of cards to the main set to help support the decks that are getting actual support. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. I hope you guys did enjoy covering the Chinese and Asian English ban list. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video.